Hello.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining the Kubeflow community call on the 24th of February 2026. As always, we're a CNCF project. Please follow the code of conduct, be nice to each other. That's the rules there. If you don't know how to join these meetings and you're seeing this on YouTube, the way you find them is by going to the kubeflow.org website, clicking community, scrolling down a bit so you see the calendar, and then we need to make this button bigger, I keep forgetting. You click this button, and then it shows you a full calendar of all of our meetings. You can also see them up here with the notes and YouTube recordings of all the past playlists. But you can go to any specific one, say the one we're on right now, but I won't click that one. Let's click this one. If you can click register, and then you can add your email here, and it will be sent to you as an actual calendar invite. You have to accept it on Gmail. Be careful about that, otherwise it won't show up in your calendar. And then you'll get updates if we have to move it or cancel it or something like that. If you aren't already, and separately, if you aren't already in the Slack server, scroll to the very top of this same page, kubeflow.org, join the CNCF Slack, and we have a channel for most of the components. And since it's the CNCF Slack, even if you're already in it, you might need to join these channels. So I recommend joining the announcements channel and any component that you participate in or want to talk more about. If there's any new people on the call, we also like to say hi. So it looks like there's lots of people today. We won't go too keep it brief, but if you want to say hi, feel free to unmute and say hi. Anyone who's new.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, you can say your name and
Hi.
introduce.
Hi everyone.
Awesome. Do you want to say a quick introduction? You can say a quick introduction if you would like. What project do
Hi
you work
everyone.
on?
I am
Maybe.
Nani. Yeah, I am currently looking at Kubeflow agent doc Git repository. I think I am very excited about today's session of MCP server.
Okay, cool. Anyone else want to say hi? If not, then MCP server away, I guess. Someone said they were going to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe I can give a little bit of background around this. Hi, folks. Yeah, so I guess I will give time to Abhishek to talk about it, but the high-level idea was we have this Kubeflow SDK, which provides a unified Python interface for all of the Kubeflow projects, including Spark operator, trainer, model registry, optimizer. In the future, we also want to support pipelines. In other, like projects, we want to give user, a Pythonic experience to interact with and ability to, fine-tune models, train them, optimize, do data processing, etc. with a single Kubeflow package. So we've been discussing around, how we can expose some of those capabilities to agents, because today, what we see more and more, agents very good with reasoning, and if we have all the capabilities to do large scale LLM ops, which means like if we provide a set of tools to the agents, they can basically do a lot of things on behalf of the user, which provide additional capabilities on top of what already they can do in terms of local development or other things. If you're familiar, I know some projects like Hugging Face recently announced the tools for Cloud Code, which actually allows the Cloud to fine-tune LLMs using the Hugging Face infrastructure. So we believe we can also provide a very good experience for those agents to interact with our tools. And I understand that MCP kind of it's hot topic. At the same time, people debating what is the right tool for agents to talk to. Should it be skills? Should it be agents? Should it be just a sort of context? But here, I think the goal is for us to at least build something which can be useful for end users who actually want to build these intelligent systems. Yeah, but that Abhishek, I will give you to you can go ahead and also give your overview why we started this.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So first of all, myself, BG Dhumal. I'm an associate software engineer from Red Hat and working in OpenShift AI. So first thing which Andrew mentioned about is it's important than release. It flattered me already. So let me give you a short overview. So why are we doing this? So usually in Kubeflow Trainer, or let's say in Kubeflow ecosystem, whichever projects we have, it's really powerful. But there is a small friction to it where user needs to understand the SDK knowledge, Kubernetes expertise, as well as manual validations involved. So each and every platform, each and every organization is trying to leverage MCP to provide all the tools needed uh, for the LLMs to perform reasoning and perform certain action. So to give a small summary, we are just wrapping the existing Kubeflow SDK with the MCP. So AI tools like Claude, Cursor, VS Code can interact with Kubeflow training infra. And the key principle, and I would like to stress on this, is MCP is like a complementary thing. It's like a integration. So it doesn't replace SDK at all. The power users still get full programmatic access for the custom training. So at the moment in SDK, we have custom trainer and built-in trainer. So as part of baseline implementation for the first phase, we'll be focusing on the trainer client, uh, specifically on the custom trainer and built-in trainers. So yeah, that's the small introduction.
Cool. This is a cap. Is that right, Andre?
Yeah, Leipzig, do you want to maybe give a quick overview in terms of architecture and how I guess Matthew, if you open the README file, maybe we can go through design a little bit.
Yeah.
The design one or
Okay.
the README one?
README one.
Can you see?
Yep.
Do you want a quick overview of what you're proposing?
Okay. So as you can see, this is the first summary. As you can see, it already clearly signifies what I just mentioned about. It just exposes all the tools which are replicating SDK's functionality, not copying it, but by using it, it exposes the set of tools which AI agents can use to perform certain action and perform reasoning based around it. So, for example, we have a Kubeflow trainer operator which has the infra. We have Kubeflow SDK, which is a Python package which has all the pre-packaged implementations which data scientists can usually use. And MCP is like a wrapper on top of SDK. So the overall architecture here is like modular. So currently in Kubeflow ecosystem, Kubeflow SDK signifies the unified SDK solution for each and every component available in the Kubeflow SDK, in the Kubeflow ecosystem. So each and every component has its dedicated trainer client plant. It's not yet available, but it's planned already and aligned for the future releases. So the trainer client is already available, and we will have set of tools for each and every client, and it will try to use SDK behind the scene and allow users to leverage all the functionalities by allowing user to perform certain action using natural language based input. So let's say if I say fine tune this model, this data set on this configuration, then it will try to understand the purpose, try to search for the tools uh, which might help LLM to perform certain action. It will have the set of instructions, and it will be able to perform that action. That's the overall architecture here. And I tried to keep the phase-wise implementation so that once implementation starts, we will be able to align our implementation plan based on the features which are outlined for the future releases.
Cool. Okay. Is there anything you need feedback from or Andre or others to is what are we asking for here?
Okay, so basically it has the tool inventory planned for each and every phase, as well as the implementation plan, the design docs. There is one more doc parallel to README called design, which has the implementation plan for each and every tool and each and every aspect, whether it may be security, whether it may be the multi-tenancy, maybe the policy-based architecture, where in Kubeflow we have multiple user personas like data scientists, ML engineers, platform engineers, and so on. So those policies make sure that the the tools are filtered on basis of the persona, the clients, uh, accordingly. So the feedback I would like to ask for is, uh, how do we start? So basically, uh, in recent call, we discussed about I should be working on the trainer client-based implementation, where we now have the system design, the low-level design, but we need to start first, and for that we need a sub project in Kubeflow if possible, so that I will be able to add the base implementation by a week or so, and then I will create an outline for the next course of action that other people can start with.
Yes, Akash, you have a hands up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, what we notice, even me and Abhijit were discussing that, like, since this project is put as part of GSOC and it has good, at least traction among contributors. The point is, issue like any new contributor who sees the idea, they come up with their own idea of MCP. Like that's a issue, right? So we already have a prototype which Abhijit created. We want to work on top of that. So what our idea was, like, we'll create at least during before GSOC period, before coding period, we'll create few issues which we can assign to the contributor instead of them asking or like them coming up and developing their MCP from scratch. That was idea. That's why we were requesting if it is possible to get a sub project under Qflow, so we can create issues and we can assign there. Otherwise, like, since right now it lives under, I think, Abhijit's personal profile, we cannot create issues and assign, like, that becomes a little bit frictional. So just wanted to know what can we do for this.
Yeah, so I think we talk about it a little bit. So we can definitely, so from our perspective, we should create a separate repo. Like, we
Right.
can call it Qflow MCP or MCP Qflow. Take a look how Anthropic, actually, how we see those servers being listed in, MCP server list in the GitHub.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I think we should have separate repo because it will have separate releases, right? It will also have a deployment plan, right? The one that Abhishek is talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we will create this.
Do we
And I
have
think
maintainers then? I think normally when we accept a repo, we have a pretty strong process for like making sure there's maintainers and stuff.
yeah, I think we do have maintainers here, so I don't see any. I guess like we have a bunch of students who are interested in. We also have a folks from Red Hat side. Also, I think
Do we need a new working group then, or is it just going to be part of the SDK working group?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Assuming, wait, what is the SDK working group called again?
It's ML Experience working group. Yep. Yeah, we can place it under ML Experience if we want to right now. I know we also in the discussion of what we should do with the working groups moving forward. So let's definitely start with something. And ML Experience, maybe it's a good place to have this repo as the main owners, right?
The main idea, like the main requirement why we are asking is like to make sure like nobody just like does the same thing from scratch and asks us for feedback. We already have a very good prototype, and even before GSOC period, we want like other contributors, instead of doing something which is unrelated, to work on something which we want to do. That's why like we'll create issues along with the committee, what are needed, what are things which are missing. And of course, once like someone start working on that, that can be a good criteria when we choose for actual contributors who will be extended it further. So I think the working group other part, maybe we can have after a while, depending on how it goes, we can decide that.
Yeah, I think more importantly for now, like in March, April, to build a foundation. This is
Right.
why I guess folks from Abhishek team can help us with this, right? And then more, I guess, people will chime in. I definitely like I see there are a lot of interest in Kubeflow SDK. Like for example, I have Shekhar on the call who kind of like help us with integrating Spark Connect to the Kubeflow SDK
Yeah.
recently. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they will be also interesting to help with this.
So I think then we need to figure out how we're going to do maintainers and things like that. That's what I'm saying. Like we need, like I don't want it to be a power grab either.
Can you have hands up?
Yeah, I think we can just mirror the same approach we have in the Kubeflow SDK. So the machine learning experience working group would be like the main owner, and then we will have sub owners for like trainer, client, wrapper, with like training team, and then others.
Is there any reason it can't live in that repo for now then?
Yeah, because it requires different releases, the main motivation, right? So the MCP, so if you take a look, for example, we do have MCP server for Spark History server that Savara and Manabu in AWS team is driving right now. And they do have a separate repo because it requires separate releases, separate deployment. Actually, like the main motivation is separate releases, first of all. And usually if you take a look at other MCP servers, like GitHub or, like GKE, AWS, they do have a separate projects for it, right? You can take a look at all the list of, like first party to third party supported servers on the, a model context protocol GitHub organization there. Ricardo, do you want to say something? I see you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, Nelly. May I let you Shahar to talk first because he was on mute, and then we can talk to you. That's me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Shahar.
I have seen a lot of different patterns of creating MCP servers. So, so the main design that we should think of is having everything pluggable. So that's the first layer is LLM layer, where we have different LLM providers from Cloud A, GPT-4, Olama is like locally running, or Mistral or something like that. The second layer will be MCP client layer. Basically, the Cloud A code, either LangChain agent or any custom agent should be able to connect to any LLM layer that that I said. And then we have the MCP protocol over there, like Kubeflow MCP server. So everything will be so much pluggable so that users can use any LLM layer and under the hood, any MCP client under the hood, and they should be able to debug any issues that they were facing while building applications over Kubeflow ecosystem. So that's what I was trying to convey. But we can go deeper, the foundation, how it should look like. And I think after everyone is aligned, we should start having the implementation. Although I understand there is some POC already done, but we will have some more brainstorming and discuss more.
Yeah, just to add on this, I think we should definitely, allow this, SDK to be deployable and pluggable. I know, like, for example, Claude has the mechanism of plugins that you can, you can add the plugin there. You can just do pip install and add your MCP server locally. I would imagine the use cases and maybe, folks want to install this MCP server locally, like with your local Claude instance. But at the same time, agents should be able to interact with this on the server, right? So because I know like Abhishek was talking a little bit about agent like identity here, right? The policy management. So I guess the policy management might be hard to manage locally. I haven't really, looked into the details here, but we need to think about, what is the model of running this locally versus running this remotely on a server, right? And exposing set of subtools that agents can access to. Abhishek, you have hands up. You can go ahead.
Yep. So these are really great questions. To start with, there are two architectures which I have on top of my head. First one is the client architecture, where the tools like Cursor Cloud can definitely leverage. The prototype which I created is I tested it in a development environment like Cursor and Cloud, as well as the cluster environment on Kubernetes, where anyone can we can push it to pipeline index, install it like a Python package, and start with some arguments as a MCP server. So if you are mentioning about the pluggable approach for multiple platform architectures, so the current design is already feasible for that. That's the thing which I wanted to highlight. But Yeah, that was really great questions.
So we don't have. We probably do want to talk about the release because it's coming out very soon.
Yeah,
But
sorry,
what are next steps
so
here?
sorry, Punjab. I just want to give Nali also. Yeah, you have your question. Go ahead, Nali, if you want to ask something. Nani, sorry. Uh,
Yeah, will the MCP server act as a thin wrapper over existing Kubeflow APIs, or is it planned to introduce a new abstraction layer specifically optimized for AI agent interaction?
I think the proposal was that it wraps the Kubeflow SDK, which is a Python SDK. A new Python SDK. At
Okay,
least at this
then
point.
how does the proposal handle authentication and multi-user isolation when AI agents trigger Kubeflow pipeline or experiments?
So I think I'm not the author, but
um,
these are good questions.
Yeah. So if you scroll down here, it has a section called authentication implementation. So we do have some, like some requirements for like Istio support, like why user identity, right? I think it also has information around, like how we can use post by gateway. So I think there are some, I guess Abhishek put some information here, how we can, authenticate user, and also the information
Yeah,
about, yeah, policy. Yeah, good.
yeah, I'm going through the that file, but my question is about how the AI agent triggers Kubeflow pipelines or experiments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess the end goal is for us to expose a set of tools that agents can interact with, right? And the idea around policy management, the one that Abhishek was talking about, that we can actually, so we definitely should discuss it around more what is actually agent identity, but we should be able to, like authenticate agent to make sure it can interact with the specific, Kubeflow pipelines or train jobs or like a Spark applications, etc. So all this auth story should be solved on the MCP server side. Similar to how today you can interact with Kubeflow pipelines via Kubeflow notebooks, right? So we do have this auth model there. So we can talk about it like what should be the identity layer there.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, okay, then what are the specific areas in the MCP server proposal where we, the community contributors, can start helping you right away? For example, APIs, adapters, agent tool definitions, or documentations. What are the things we contributors that directly help you right away?
Yeah, again, for that, like, I mean, it will be much easier if we connect on Slack. I have shared you the channel. We're looking for contribute like you and other people. So I think that will be easier to sync up there.
Yep.
Yeah,
If you
maybe
want
Yeah,
to talk.
sorry, maybe it's next step. We have a call on Wednesday, this Wednesday actually tomorrow. So let's have a follow-up for this and we can definitely identify, like what are the action items, GSOC student can work and help us to work with. At the same time, what foundational layer we'll build in April and March before that, right?
So Wednesday's
Yeah.
the Kubeflow SDK meeting,
Yeah,
correct?
tomorrow at the same time. Yep.
So this is a good place to talk about it. If it's under the working group that already exists, then it's fine, right? They can create a repo if they would like to create a repo. So in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mind,
yeah. I think we just need to bring it up to
yeah,
KSC members and like just to vote on this and move forward
yeah, I
with the
mean,
configuration.
I don't think we've ever had a project want to make a new repo without a new working group, but it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Usually previously we end up this to the KSC, right? And we vote and then move forward, right? Right.
I think there's only one requirement that we did have a doc for a while, which said like, list the owners files, list, these kind of things. Did we have that doc still?
Yeah, it's for donation, right? So this is not actually donation, it's creation a new project, right? So yeah, we can talk about it maybe offline. Like
Yeah.
I
Cool.
don't any
Awesome. Anyway, we probably should go on to talk about the release considering it's so soon. But join the meeting on Wednesday to discuss further. Join SDK meeting on WID 25th Feb 2026. Okay, cool. Or join the Slack as well, which is the Kubeflow dash contributors. Okay, so Turek or someone else who's a release manager, are they here?
Yes.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah. So maybe we start first with the 1.11 release because we have some issues building the blog. I think Akash shared some.
So, one tip about the blog is that we can fix the issue. That's just a Netlify issue that we need to fix.
Yeah.
But the actual blog isn't hosted on Netlify, weirdly. The website is, but not the blog. The blog only uses Netlify for previews.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think, but still, like failing.
We should fix it. Yes, we should
yeah.
fix it. So that we'll do that after the meeting. That's fine.
Yep. Yeah. So that's, I think, last thing before just we conclude the blog for 1.11 for the video. We still didn't have like all the videos from all the working groups, so probably Valentina will maybe need to take a decision whether that she would be recording the release video, or we stop having the release video at all. So that's for the. Oh, Valentina, you here?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
still,
Yeah, I can. Yeah, so it's been travel and a lot, but I can record a video. But during the weekend, if that works for you, and then we'll cover all the slides. I think that, so. Is the only one the model registry so far? The only video we have?
Yeah, and probably Spark Operator as well.
Okay.
But the thing
Okay.
that Matthias is not available also for like helping. So I think he mentioned that like we should have it by the last week of February. So it's this week. So maybe we can check with him in Slack or something, and see if he could be able to help or.
With whom? Sorry.
Matthias.
Anyway, so what's our next steps here regarding this? So we're going to get the blog out, and then there may or may not be a video. Are we linking to anything in the blog?
No links to the video.
Matthew, we are saying it will be a video, so I will be recording the sections that are missing. Yeah, let's sync up, Tarek, and offline.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Okay. So as long as that's handled, what's the status on 2603?
Yes. So yesterday we had a release team meeting to conclude basically on the versions. So it was a rather short meeting. These are the expected versions. We still the Spark Operator. I'll reach out to the Spark Operator working group because it's currently 2.4 that's there. So I'll reach out to them to see if they would be able to or they are planning to do a release this week or next week before the RC1. The RC1 is supposed to be next week, so we need to check that. And then the Kubeflow pipelines, the liaison will update that version when it's also ready. So if we have a release this week or early next week, then we will update that as well. But so far, these are the versions of all the projects. One comment from Andre regarding the Knative that we probably maybe not needed. So I checked with Julius. And then there is a project for like raw deployment mode, basically. So and they're like it's a GSOC student that's helping in the manifest to do that. So we probably maybe not need to have Knative and probably need to add support for Kida instead.
So wait, are we not using, is Knative not a dependency of Kserve? Is that the reason it comes in, right?
Yeah, I think I asked about it. Yes, sorry. Like I asked about it to Tarek. We need some Kserve folks to talk about it because I know Kserve recently standardized deployment of Kserve doesn't require Knative. So we need to figure out, do we really need to have Knative? Because like from my understanding, and I'm not 100% expert there, but Knative is not really needed for LLM inferencing because auto scaling from zero, it's not really needed for, large scale multi-node deployments. So, we really need to, see what is the prioritization for inference engine in our platform. Yeah.
So in terms of like updatability though, like, helping people update from older versions of Kubeflow, if we previously offered it, we might, it just depends on what we're doing, right? Do we want it to still be in the repo? Because it's currently people will be pulling it from the manifest repo.
Yeah, I'm trying to, again, understand what is the motivation, right, to maintain this component. Yeah, Christian, good.
Yeah, I can just quickly comment on that. So I think currently, at least, the manifest repository is by default using the Knative implementation of Kserve. So I think while we may be able to talk about ripping this out in the long term, right now, at least, I don't think this is feasible.
Yeah, I mean,
Rick?
yeah, I mean, because the thing that if we remove the knative is exactly as you mentioned, that we probably need to update also our end-to-end testing and so on, because there we have some sort of dependency there, I guess. So, but I shared in chat, like there is a discussion for that topic in the manifest repo.
Yes.
So there was a comment from Julius about that point.
So I guess this is more of a question for the manifest repo. Obviously, KServe is a separate project that we package together. So like what do we even have a policy around what we support in them, right? Like which because they've got multiple deployment methods. I think that's what Andre's saying. So
Yeah, I kind of like created this issue a while ago, like to simplify, installation for platform MVP. And I understand, like different distribution, different users might require different requirements. Yeah, right. So, but I mean, like, I think I just feel like, if we reduce number of dependencies, it will be just easier for us to manage the platform release.
it
But
certainly makes removing Knative is a very big dependency. Yes, it would be nice to not have it in there. Yes.
Christian?
Yeah, I just want to get back to on this. So I recently deployed Kserve, and I first started out with the raw deployment, so like the one which does not require Knative, and then I found that quite a few of the features that you may want to have in an installation are actually depending on the Knative like deployment mode, at least in Kserve. So for example, I wanted to have path-based serving, and this is only an option in Knative for some reason, at least. So there will most likely be some fixes required for this on the Kserve side as well, if we do want to rip out this dependency.
I think in this case, it's also like the manifests. I think Andre was just saying they're kind of like a starting point, right? So the question is, do we is is there does the reference version of that need maybe? I mean, I guess that's a question, Andre.
Yeah, I think the release team and Julius, I know he's not here right now, but I mean, like, we should talk at some point, like, what features we want to provide to users, right? Out of the box, right? And it doesn't mean that you can install something on top, right? Um, it's just like, how to make our installation as simple as possible so users can see value, right? But I understand it will be always debatable, like, what tools we want to install, what we don't want to install, right? Because, for example, like, what if, some folks want to use not Istio but Cilium, right? Like, on which point of time we want to discuss what tools we want to offer, right?
I think
Yeah.
Kserve is very much a specific case though, because like we would include all the normal Kubeflow components out of the box, but this one is more complicated, right? So if there's two versions of Kserve, effectively, one that uses Kserve and one that uses Knative and one that doesn't, I guess that's the question. But currently we deploy the one that uses Knative, and that's where I'm like, I think it would be a breaking change needlessly to do it if it works as it is.
But I mean, we can keep it also like in the repository, but then maybe we remove it from the default installation, like in the example, for example. So we keep it in the manifest, but then it doesn't necessarily be part of the one command line that you use to install Kubeflow reference platform.
So anyway, I mean, my hope is like users to talk here, especially users who depend on the Kubeflow manifest. Like, do they need Knative? Or they have other thoughts on this? Because it's hard for us to make a decision without real feedback. But anyway,
yeah. I mean, let's. So other than that, let's say we figure that out in the next week or two. What is anything else that's blocking us or other things like that?
Currently, there are no blockers, so everything is proceeding as according to the timeline, at least so far.
Okay, cool.
The confirmation, the confirmation on the pipelines and the Spark operator. We hopefully have that maybe this week, so that and then I'll update it here as well and in the release document.
Also, yeah, for dashboard, I'll probably cut this release today or so, and then we need to sync that in, which is to require some moving around of things because all the manifests were refactored completely for that version of profile controller, dashboard, and other things. They're a lot easier to use now, I'll tell you that. But it is a breaking change, so we need to document that for users. So syncing that in is probably important. Notebooks v1 will also probably cut that on Thursday or this week. The primary one though is because we need to sync them from the 2 new repos. So I don't know if there was. Anyway, cool. Okay, so other than this, have we kind of managed to sync in any of these ones yet, or are they any of them, or is it we just waiting on every single one?
Kserve 0.16 is synced. So there was previously we reported like there were some issues into that, but then this fixed and now it's synced. The model registry, I think it's like probably not yet. It's on 036, so that also yet to be synced. And the Knative is also synced. That's from the last component that was updated from 0.11. But then the rest is not.
So my question is around Kubernetes. Presumably, we need to support it. This is not going to be supported probably more than, I don't know when this EOL, but pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
So presumably, we're actually supporting 135, right? Because we need to support.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing that for the platform components, we need to first like sync all the main components, and then as part of the manifest working group, we will be updating this as well. So like
is
for example,
133 the minimum, or is it the maximum, or is it what is it?
Nah, it would be like usually like it's a minimum version, and then like we support. I'll say it's a little bit tricky because like in the CI/CD pipelines we can do like a test for one version, and that's like the version that we say it works, and then we depend on the feedback from the distributions or from the user that said, okay, we tested that the like version on this Kubernetes version, it also works.
Because previously we just listed on the website the version we ran for our CI/CD test, and I think it still there's a note on the website, but it is still very confusing when we say stuff like this because people are going to be like, oh, it's not going to support 135, but it probably does, right?
Okay. Yeah,
we just got to be careful about messaging. That's all.
Yes. Yeah.
Because like 133 probably will be. I don't know when it EOLs, but I'm imagining quite soon. So, Christian.
Yeah, I recently got a comment from Julius on one of my pull requests where he said that the upcoming release is most likely going to support up to 136.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it didn't. Kubernetes doesn't make super breaking changes anymore. The only issues come for stuff like Istio, like minimum versions of Istio, usually.
Yeah.
And also 135 is important because it's the first one that has like proper DRA support, like GPUs and stuff. Pretty critical for machine learning.
Yeah. So I think we will like wait for the sync for all components, and then we will try to run on different run the CI/CD pipelines on different Kubernetes versions until we like aim for the latest.
Especially dashboard, I think. Yeah, we need to. Let's try and get that. Let's actually try and sync the new dashboard in this week because that's, I think, where a lot of changes are going to happen in the repo.
Yes.
Okay. Other than that, what else needs to happen to getting this test sync in is kind of what I was talking about. I cut the stuff over the weekend. I just didn't cut the final release of dashboard too. Anything else that is blocking us? What's our next step? So March 2nd is feature freeze apparently. So we've got a week or two.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, and then like in that particular week, then usually it's the manifest working group work that start in like trying to update as much as possible of these components and run the end-to-end testing for the pipelines and ensure that everything is intact. And the aim is, as I mentioned, like to be aiming for latest available versions. That has no like breaking change for the components to run.
Quick question also, I was noticing I think as of recently, there's been a lot more PRs into the manifest repo, not understanding that the manifest repo syncs stuff in. I think I would suggest, I was going to look into doing it myself, but I might suggest we do a PR check, which kind of just fails if there's any changes to the upstream folders relative to their upstream sync.
Okay, you mean, yeah, I haven't, okay. Maybe
like
that we can check with you.
Run that in the PR checks, you know what I mean? Just be like, if there is a get porcelain, you know, you like, because some people just, they make changes to the upstream folder, which would be immediately removed on the next sync, you know, and they're not meant to do that anyway, right?
Yeah, but I don't think those PRs are merged because we know that
normally it just wastes people's time is what I'm more meaning.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, yeah, because especially with notebooks and stuff, it's gonna get there's going to be a lot of upstream folders just because they're all kind of in different. You'll see. Anyway, okay. Okay. So, any other things we need to talk about for the release to get? So, how good are we? Are we on track to release by KubeCon?
Yep. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Good news. Anyone else got anything about the release? We can then talk about community stuff.
Yeah, is the MCP server proposal targeting inclusion
No.
in the upcoming 2.6 release cycle, or is it planning as an experimental feature first?
I don't think it's finalized, but it definitely isn't on this list right now. So I'd say that's it's SDK is also experimental in some sense. So I'll leave it to that team to make their own claims when we form it.
So again, just for everyone to understand, Kubeflow manifest releases doesn't relate to, doesn't connect it to the components releases. So it's fully async. So the Kubeflow, we call it Kubeflow AI reference platform release, which we do right now in this year 2 times, in March and in probably October, November. We haven't agreed yet. But the releases for individual sub-projects like trainer, pipelines, notebooks, SDK, and MCP, they go completely with their own life cycle, right? So there is no need for us to wait for manifest release to make, other releases. Just for everyone to understand, yeah.
You can install a newer SDK, for example, with
it's
a Python package, but yeah. Cool. Okay. Next. Okay, GSOC stuff. I don't know if Ramesh is here. Sorry for getting it at the very end.
I am here.
Hello.
Hello. So we got accepted to the GSOC. That was the good news. Everybody knows that. I already see a bunch of students reaching out. There seems to be some confusion, as always, in this time of the year, every year, as to people seems to be not knowing. Hey, should we start on this project already? A lot of people I see that they're not aware of the GSOC procedure, but they're asking. So I'm trying to fill some of those questions. What I thought, I will be the very first thing I will be doing is in the next week or so, I'll be sending the invitations or accepting the mentors who already were the mentors last year, so I can automatically accept those them as the mentors for this year and send the invitations for the new mentors. So look out for that. I'll send some invites over on the Slack for the new mentors. The one question I do have for the mentors is, what would you guys like to see in terms of, there is a lot of students, we've seen last year almost 500 students came to our Slack and started asking various questions. How can we better manage that this year or not this year? Should we create a different Slack messages for Slack channels for each project? I know one project seems to have done that. I want to hear any suggestions from anyone, so that we can divert the students to those channels and ask any questions. So that's the major one. I have a question for you as a mentors. The applications will open on March 16th. So that's we got a little bit more time, but students are already coming in and asking questions, right? So that's my priority right now. How I can facilitate that.
I think the doc does say Kubeflow contributors right now. Are we suggesting a different channel again, or?
Right. I mean, if that channel is okay with you guys, or is that getting too hectic to sort through, because there are so many of them are coming and asking questions, right?
Yeah, so sorry, like I see Akash, you have your hands up. I just want to, I think from my perspective, Kubeflow contributors is a good gateway point for GSOC students, so we don't really, replicate a lot of stuff. I think the problem is like who is going to reply, but for those messages. But Akash, you can go first.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give my perspective what I think from last 1 week. There are a lot of DMs and like questions. One thing, like we do have a website, like in the bottom, what Matthew is sharing. Can we have at least a tracking issue there in the ideas itself? We can add now for each project. Like all the new contributor are supposed to like add their discussion there. I see. I mean, being honest, a lot of AI slot PRs, like they're just adding random issues, creating random PR. So just to save everyone's time, for each project, one session I can have is like for each project, we can have one issue or tracking issue. I think most of the project already have that we explicitly tell contributor to put your comments or put whatever they want to ask there. Obviously, Slack channel will be there, but do not directly create PR or do not directly create issue until it's like obviously it is very important. So I think that is one idea I had like for each project idea, since I think the website will be the entry point for the contributor to start. What they see is they directly jump on the channel. Also, they don't even check the previous message. A lot of things are very common. For example, if one person has asked about project X, there is good chances someone before them have asked. So probably have a link there, as well as maybe in Slack there is a thing called Canvas. We can add all the project links and everything there in the contributor channel. That okay, for this project, please first review these one or two things, then you can ask your questions.
Right. Yeah, I like the idea of the creating an issue per project. Are you also thinking that every project requires a cap to be defined before we get to that? Otherwise, having to taking from these project ideas to a cap, if that is required, and leaving the link here to talk, to have it more description about the project. If it is this one is just a summary, go over there and have conversation there. That would be another idea. So, but I want to leave it up to the to the mentors as to how we want to run it, right? Because this is your project, and at the end of the day, and how we want these students to be communicating with you. But yeah, creating an issue is that's a great idea.
Sorry, like I just want to add, like I think creating an issue is good, but who is going to answer it?
Yes.
So I mean, what we have right now, we have less maintainers that's active contributors who want to chime in, and this is great. I mean, it's amazing to see how many people actually want to get involved. But like we really need to find maintainers who want to answer those questions, even in the issues, right? Because it's all to work, and
Or the mentors, right?
yeah.
It would have to be the mentors.
Yes.
I mean, mentor would be the best person who can answer.
Yeah, I
think-
can
yeah.
add my perspective. So I think it is good to have all the conversation in Slack itself. Let's say I'm new contributor, I want to know more about Spark client, right? I can start a thread and put the initial messages or question that I want to ask directly, like pinging or like CCing the mentors or active contributors to get the answer. And then if there is deeper conversation or some kind of draft PR I want to have, I can have in GitHub issue or GitHub PR pull request. So Slack could be quicker, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. The issue what we've seen is the number of Slack messages in their shaker. We had 250 students, everybody saying hi, and also sometimes they are participating in multiple projects and asking questions across them. uh, and some of the mentors are also doing multiple projects, so their workload is really gets really high. So yeah.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, I think from our last 3 years of experience, usually students the students who start working with us in October/November or even September probably will likely get accepted because the problem is we have so many people and it's almost impossible to reconcile everyone. So you have to understand it's not an easy thing to just it's easy to contribute, but if if you want to be you need to understand how to work with the maintainers, right? And how we operate, how we manage meetings, etc. So that's why some students actually working with us, started work with us even before we get accepted, which is the good thing, right?
But to be clear,
yeah,
we've accepted students based off the interview process. Like they
yes,
submit things, like some people just submit amazing things and then we interview them and they're really good and because it's a relationship, right? A mentor.
yeah.
Like you have to be willing to both ways, right?
But I think what I want to say, usually a relationship take time to build, right?
Sure. But
And
I
usually,
don't want to
yeah,
dash people's hope, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
We do, like last year we accepted people.
yeah. I mean, definitely, definitely. But I guess meetings it's the best place to build this relationship, right? And make you visible and maybe get attention on your peers, right?
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, they have to submit a proposal and then we review them and we interview people. But if you want to, yeah, attending meetings and being helpful is probably a good way.
And we should have a policy for AI generated PRs. I think CNCF
Okay, we need to. Okay, that's what we said.
Yeah.
Let's just discuss that separately. We need to, yeah, but we do need to
Okay.
do that. Yes, it's getting a little bit out of hand.
So let's maybe next week, focus on this, right? Because I know CNCF, yeah.
Ed, I say it right here, but for AI generated PRs, we'll figure out the option. But if people are spammy, I do think that we should be clear that that might end up leading to people being banned from contributing or participating.
I will also take that with the GSOC committee itself a little bit, because we have seen at least half of the proposals last year was AI generated, and I had to pre-filter them before even got to the vendors.
I want to just give a little bit of nuance to that, where it's generating AI and using AI tool, absolutely okay.
Yep.
But there just needs to be vetting. If people aren't reviewing or reading, just throwing that off, and this is one of the projects that I'm a maintainer for. I am getting a pretty extraordinary amount of volume, where it's oh, okay, I see what people are doing here, and fine, but not checking code before you're submitting it over to the project is the issue, not the AI.
Yeah, in the same, it should be a tool. Like most projects that I've seen that have had success here is that if you can't explain the PR just as you would if you'd written it yourself, we're not even going to review it. You know what I mean? Because why would we be your first review? If you're not even going to review your own PR, why would we review it first? Right.
So I know, yeah. Sorry.
Maybe can we put some text?
Good.
Can we put some verbiage on this page about the usage of AI?
So we should have a dedicated section on Kubeflow website, for this, right? Which what is AI policy for Kubeflow projects and how people should use AI tools, right? And I know again, it's great to use AI. All of us hope are hopefully using because it significantly increase productivity. And for some projects, we even have AgentMD file and FloatMD file, which also help improve context. But we need to make it clear, how you should use this tool. So maybe you should share your prompts because it's also very useful for others, right, to learn. So I think that we definitely should do this as fast as we can.
And disclosure. I think disclosure is important. Being like,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
what
yeah.
extent
Yep.
did you use AI? Because I think a really trusted contributor, I might review their PR differently if they've said, "Oh, I just vibe coded most of this." Right?
I like it just candidly, I think like by default, I assume everything is AI generated, and someone might have like done some stuff with it. That's but yeah.
But then if I'm reviewing your PR, Francisco, I want to be able to trust you when I know that you didn't do that. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah, no, it's AI slop. Just assume from me. It's
no.
and,
Okay.
safe bet.
Okay, cool. So what's our next steps with GSOC then? So are we going to update the wording here somewhere? What are we going to do?
About the AI, what are we about the issues?
I mean, for your own sanity, maybe you might want to put your own warning here. You know what I mean? Like with a big,
yes,
if you're going to be
I'll-
reviewing it, maybe we put a big warning, because there's a way to make a orange kind of warning call out. If you want to be like, your proposal will just be outright rejected if it looks completely AI generated or something, right?
I'll submit something there, and
You know, with the admonitions or like, the call out kind of box, you might want to
Mhm.
also add this in there as well, which is like, please don't reach out directly to people.
Right.
You can come to meetings, but yeah.
We should come to the meetings. Yeah, I will. I'll make some. I'll send some.
Yeah, whatever
some
would be
changes
keeping
to the
your
spreadsheet.
sanity. If you're the admin who's going to be first
I
filtering
know.
stuff,
I
right?
know.
Sorry.
it takes a lot of time. Yeah, let me do that. On the project side, do you guys want to create an issue or a KIPS, or what do you guys want to do there? So that, or we still want to keep the way they are?
I'm not sure that I think creating an issue just might make a mess, if you know what I mean.
I mean, we already have an issue for every project. If we don't have, we should create one, right?
There an issue for every project?
Yeah. It should be like, for example, like.
Oh yeah, there's meant to be a tracking issue, but there isn't on some.
Yeah, so for those who are missing, we need to create one, so right? So because it probably require a proposal, right? And
yeah, if there's no already existing approved proposal, yeah, that would be very difficult to contribute to. And that's also really bad for the contributor as well, right? Like that, it's very confusing for them being like, oh, I can make a PR, but it's not even approved. But again, it's a mentor relationship, so hopefully the mentor will help. Anyway, we're going a bit over time, so Valentina?
Yeah, just I need to wrap, but a couple of things. So KubeCon Europe. So in the agenda, you will see the link for the booth duty, but also for the demos. So reach out, let us know if you have any demo, that you can present at the booth, so we can start promoting social media. And the other thing that, thank you so much, Andre, because Andre pointed out that PR opportunity is open for us with the CNCF. So this is, that Word document. I move it to the top so it gets PR. Yeah, if you can open.
I can highlight it, it's fine.
Yeah. So that PR, it gave us an opportunity to highlight any specifics that we want, to, for the CNCF to promote. So we can attach a PR. So far we have these, these topics. So if you want to add any other topic, like, I don't know, the new user group that was created in India, I don't know, any other thing, the committee, the steering committee, updates, anything that you think is meaningful that is not there. The deadline is kind of tomorrow because we need to submit it no later than Friday. So I will be on Thursday, reviewing it and, polishing it. If also you see a topic, so I tag some people there. If you see a topic that you knowledgeable and you want to help us draft just 1-2 lines, let us know. Otherwise, I will fill the blanks. But it will be great, if you want to add something about, I don't know, the SDK or the ML experience group. So feel free to include it there so we can submit it. Again, the deadlines, please do it no later than tomorrow. Reach out if you need anything. But yeah, so just wanted to point that. Then the rest is as usual, nothing has changed, but I wanted to point out those two things that are important before we finish the meeting.
So is this like they're going to market it for us or something, or?
Yeah, they will market. Yes. So there is a form at the CNCF that we need to provide a document. We could provide this document, but also we can create like a paragraph. So it will be like from all of these, like building a paragraph. Yeah. So what are the things that we want to highlight?
What's the difference between these two? You mean component versions, I guess, maybe.
Kubeflow new version release
And then you've
announcement.
got
Yeah,
AI reference Python. You've got two
this is
similar.
complicated. Yeah. I will
Or just call
polish
it
that.
Kubeflow 2603 or something, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, Tarek. I will reach out to Tarek if he wants to include any updates for the release there. But yeah, so help us, with filling the information there so we can submit it. That's all I
Okay.
have. I think that's relevant. Well, do we need to talk about KubeCon India or
Yeah,
is there
I
any?
mean, we will be
Yeah.
planning for top. I mean, the deadline is there. And then, of course, for the booth and everything, that we'll get a confirmation later in March. So we do have a little bit of time for that.
We have in March. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, few of the like committee member from India reached out to me, like they want to help. So probably I have few list. Probably I'll add. Maybe we would need good amount of people for booth and other things.
Cool. What's the quick next steps? We don't want to go too much over. We're already massively over time. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the next step there? So people should buy tickets, yes?
Yeah.
And have the CFPs finished or not yet?
Yeah, CFP finished for project talk that is there on 3rd of March. So next week.
Okay, so you haven't. So we have to submit. Wait,
Yeah.
so the overall CFP is closed though, right?
Yeah, or that is
So have we submitted our one for this yet?
No.
Okay, cool. You're gonna be the one submitting that, I guess.
Yeah, basically maintenance are supposed to submit, so Valentina told she'll submit on our behalf. But I mean, we have like 2 or 3 people who are willing to give talk, but one of the maintainer has to submit. So I think Valentina agreed for that. So yeah.
Yeah, I offer to submit. So once you have the abstract, let me know.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
Yep, Valentina, yeah, keep going.
Yeah. No, the other thing is this Friday is the outreach program meeting that we do monthly. So the information is on the meeting notes as well. So please join if you want to learn more about KubeCon, India or Europe or any other events or have any ideas. We will be there. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you for your work, everyone. Please join the meeting in the same way. Go to the meetings LFX thing. Join it. Okay, so we're getting close to this. So yeah, anything else before we close?
I think I did put on topic at top.
Okay. Where? Sorry.
At top. Yeah. Second one. For no, I think it is before.
Oh, this thing. Okay, you wanted to that OCI.
Yeah, I'll keep it very, very short. So basically, I've created an issue in the community just to formalize the process of how to maintainers or leads can get the infra for projects or let's say something they're testing. So already we do have few, I think one like project one of GSOC 2026. Last year, my project and one more project used some of the infra from OCI. I just created this issue, so later down the line we can track it and we can make sure like it is trackable. Anyway, like maintainers or people leads who want to request, they can request directly.
Do we have is this connected into our GitHub repos as well as CI runners or not yet?
Not yet. I'm planning to have a issue template, probably is there in the example. So
pretty much if you want access, what can you give? Do you know?
Yeah, basically we have good support from Oracle Cloud. So I think we have around 24 GPU support and all the basic VMs we have. Even cluster, I think.
H100s, B200s?
No, sorry. We have A10 over single GPU and double GPU. So not A10, not A100, sorry.
Which generation of GPU? Sorry, if I start asking.
A10 with single
A10.
GPU. Yeah.
Interesting. That's a type of instance, I think. Probably not a GPU, right?
That's kind of GPU. I mean, if we need to request more, so probably we have to request CNC.
That's really old. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Ampere. Okay.
And we do have a cluster as well, which we're planning to use for a few of the deployments.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Awesome. So who should we reach out to if we want to use that in this issue, I guess? Or
I think IND has admin access to tenancy. Probably I'm trying to send to all KC member. Chase has, I also have the admin access for the tenancy.
yeah, this is what you were saying. I thought you said something else, but yes, this is somewhat old these days.
Yeah.
But it's good for testing, I
It's
guess.
still capable to run fine tuning though. Like with
Yeah.
some of the distributed, tensor parallelism examples that we run. So, like it's
You can
pretty
at least
good
test
for
stuff.
info.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, since those are the free ones, so obviously like not the high end will get, but yeah.
Yep, cool. Okay. And yep, so pretty much it's just get access if you're a maintainer and then you can use it for now.
Yeah.
Is it a Kubernetes cluster or is it just instances?
No, we have full tenancy, Oracle Cloud tenancy. So you can I can provision VMs cluster or other. Even I think now we have few system from Oracle like for AI capabilities as well. So like we have access for entire tenancy. Whatever you want to put, that we can do.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're pretty over time now. So is there anything else you need from us? Anyone?
So who can help us with driving this AI guidelines for Kubeflow projects?
I think we probably should. We could
Like
maybe
any
start a
any
thread where people
volunteers here who
propose
will have
ideas.
some draft, and maybe we can work on the draft together on the website. And
What needs to be done, Andre?
we need to add the policy for AI generated PRs. Basically, like
And
how we
maybe AI generated interactions as well, like because spam issues as well are problematic.
Yeah, I'm willing to help. If anybody wants to work on this, I can work with him or her on that one. But I
It
can
would
start
probably
as
be
well.
in the community repo, right? Should it be we should probably collate ideas and then create an actual policy from that, right? Because there's a lot of people making a lot of different ideas at the moment in different
so this CNCF, so I linked the issue, like CNCF projects actually have a bunch of different policies. Some of them put on the website, some of them have in the contributing guides. So maybe the next step, so if you can help us just review and maybe have something similar for Kubeflow website. And
I feel like it should be on the community repo, right? Because it's kind of like a
but for
policy.
I mean, Kubeflow website maybe it's easier place because community is hard to
more like we can. It's more like the formal approval of the proposal is in the community web, but we can just put it on the website,
Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean by proposal? It's not a proposal; it's just the guidelines.
Like the website
right?
isn't a place for governance documents, like the governance
But
documents.
we do have governance documents on the website actually already, and
but they're not like the source of truth. Is kind of what I mean. They're more like
some of them. Okay, but it's not like governments; it's the contributing guides, right? We already have contributing guides on the website, like in the Kubeflow.org.
But if we're gonna be like banning people, like it's kind of it needs to be a policy. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, I mean, we can collaborate on the PR. From my perspective, we should do this in the Kubeflow website in the community section.
It should be visible there, but I just think it's going to require discussion. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we can discuss it. We can even start with a Slack channel or whatever. Like, it's not Slack channel, sorry. It's like thread or discussion and create a PR out of that based on like the bold lines or the main items that we would like to include in our policy. We can replicate this data, put it in the website and in the community so people feel free to reach out. Like whatever source of information people reach out to find information, they can feel free to do that. I'm not sure also if we should point out to it in the individual contributing guides of individual projects or
we can do it. Yes,
definitely.
And,
I just don't want what I don't want happening is someone raising a PR and then it just being merged without actually discussing, because this could have dramatic impacts on the project if we're not careful.
Yeah, but like, I mean, if we link this policy in the contributing.md, everyone who want to contribute, they will read it, right?
Yeah, we could just put a warning at the top of contributing on every single one. Yes, but what I'm saying is the actual. I think we should have a discussion. There's going to be a lot of people needing to have a discussion here, and just making a PR, like someone like Andre or someone else should make the PR, and it shouldn't just be merged randomly. We should be having an agreement before we do it.
but it's different, right? Like what we want to say here is just to explain people how they should use AI tools with to
No, I want like
contribute
the
to.
policy, right? It's more like, okay, under what situations do you get banned from Kubeflow?
No,
Under
no,
what situations do you
I think getting
what are you
banned from
not allowed to
Kubeflow, it's
do?
like we should talk about it. I don't think we should really enforce it, but I think it's more about, explaining people how they should use those tools, and they should use those tools. But explaining, as Francisco said, like maybe, like explicitly say, or maybe like co-author these new PRs, etc. I think there are some examples I can also share with the spinning PRs and how other projects are, doing this, right? Um,
So
Yeah,
this,
is
yeah.
it helpful? It is helpful for many contributors to know at which extent they can use the AI tools if you set any set of guidelines or rules to use the AI tools.
So anyway, let's keep this discussion going on maybe a Slack thread. We probably definitely need to stop now. So I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for coming, everyone. Awesome. Thanks for everyone's amazing work.